Today we have with us a dear friend, political activist, former candidate for the European Parliament and Vice President of International League of People Struggle, Oz Karahan. Oz, welcome, and thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Solo. Unfortunately, I see in the free areas, our citizens are feeling some delusionally safety, but I try to warn them. If we don't liberate this island, there's no peace here. I mean, there's not gonna be life for our children. It's simple.
You feel it's possible to have a Cypriot civic identity?
I think so, because we are talking here about the magic word you mentioned, a civic identity. This is not we are not talking about ethnic identity. I mean, everybody's ethnic identity is their individual matter. Civic identity is where you unite as a citizens of a state. Republic of Cyprus too. The government can do to change this. Defend this country. If they defend this state and defend this country, and Turkish Cypriots sees that, they will come closer to the Republic of Cyprus.
Dear friends, good evening. As you understand, it will be a different podcast today. Please forgive my English, but they are necessary for our guest today. Today we have with us a dear friend, political activist, former candidate for the European Parliament and Vice President of International League of People Struggle, Oz Karahan. Oz, welcome, and thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Solo.
So for the people in the island that do not know you, who is Oz Karahan?
It's a long question. I mean, that has a long answer, but simply, Oz Karahan is a Cypriot patriot who loves this country more than anything. I can say. If we're gonna talk about the political alignment, like you said, the International League of People Struggle, Union of Cypriots, and Green Party, those heads as well. If you want to ask more like a personal, background, yeah, I'm a political activist who raised in Famagusta, who family, my mother's side is originally a refugee from Kalahoryo, Larnaca, and who's born in this Cyprus issue like any Cypriot, and who likes to fight for his country.
You have a long both personal and political history, so I feel that we will be jumping between issues. I will start with the thing that made you probably most well known in the Greek Cypriot community, which was your revelations about the usurpation of Greek Cypriot properties in the occupied areas.
Yes.
How did that came up in your political activities?
Well, in our political activity, when we talk about the occupation, we always underline one fact, that the real name of the occupation is settler colonization. This includes the illegal settlers and illegal settlements, which means the people after 1974, Turkey sent to Cyprus, and the illegal settlements built on the Greek Cypriot properties. So this is for Turkey, the real name of the occupation, the real tool of the occupation, the real strategy of the occupation. So as an organization, Union of Cypriots, also in international level, ILPS, we try to get active on these issues because something is happening next to us as well, very similar, which is Palestine. It is the same situation. The settler colonization and the illegal settlements are the main tool of the this occupation, basically. So we had to do something. And we are trying to find different ways to take the world's attention to this issue. And recently, like you said, last year, with the arrest of Akan Kürşat, if you remember, there was a Turkish Cypriot lawyer arrested. Later, it freed. He's freed. We said that we have to do something. We have to keep this subject in the people's agenda, people's attention. And we published those companies, number of companies, owners, and the companies' names. And after that, of course, we take it to the international arena, and we are following up the situation. Because, as I said, it is very connected. The illegal occupation here, the Turkish occupation, the settler colonization is very connected with the international law and the other catastrophes, like in Palestine, happening in our region.
You know, for most, I'm familiar with the issues you raise. We also met through Yasemi's campaign for the European Parliament with our dear friend Şener Levent. And I feel that for many Greek Cypriots who live in their own bubble, as most of us in the island, it's very interesting to see a Turkish Cypriot compatriot addressing this issue so directly. And I also have to say that I feel ashamed with the government in the Cyprus Republic for not doing things, tackling the issues you raised. There was an article by Aziz Sah last week asking the president of the Republic to account for the people living in the occupied areas. How many settlers are there?
Well, let's talk about the numbers because it's important. Last year, the Association of Muhtaris in the occupied area declared, because they have the data of how many people lives in their areas, they said that the number is over 1 million. This is the population in the occupied area. We know the numbers of the Turkish Cypriots because the Turkish Cypriots are automatically entitled to get Republic of Cyprus citizenship. We know the number of Turkish Cypriots who has the Republic of Cyprus citizenship. And also we have one more data. In 2011, accidentally, the statistical organization of the occupation regime, the head of this organization, accidentally on the live television declared the number of the illegal settlers. He said 120,000. So, and the few years ago, the Republic of Cyprus government also released the number of the Turkish Cypriots who has the Republic of Cyprus citizenship. Number was the 140,000. It's almost the same.
Okay.
So basically, the number of Turkish Cypriots right now around that range. Of course, most of the young left already because they have the Republic of Cyprus citizenship and they don't see future in the island because of the illegal settlers, and they are leaving. So actually, the numbers who living in the occupied areas are so much less. But the population in the occupied area is over 1 million at the moment. Muhtaris Association declared it. Some officials of the Tatars, Ersin Tatars party declared it, and everybody knows it. So when in the occupied area, the most optimistic number is 10% of the people are Turkish Cypriots.
How do you think, or how do you understand, you already gave a picture, how do Turkish Cypriots perceive living under this regime? Is it something that some of them are satisfied or they embrace it? I see now that the issue of the hijab is it's an issue that Turkish Cypriots raise with great concern. How do Turkish Cypriots perceive the situation From your point of view,
Yes,
of course.
I can clearly say that because the number of Turkish Cypriots are so little and everybody knows each other. I can clearly say that no Turkish Cypriot are happy with the existence of settlers, existence of the settler colonization. People might have different opinion about the occupation. That's I accept that.
Okay.
But even if you go to a right-winger Turkish Cypriot, he can tell you that in the private, every single person, these settlers are ruining us. These settlers, and culturally, economically, socially, and the example that you give is the latest example about the hijab situation. So everybody feels under threat. Again, because of the main tool of the occupation, meaning settlers. I can clearly, and confidently tell you that.
You live in the Cyprus Republic controlled area, in the free areas as we call them.
Yeah.
Free from Turkish occupation, occupied from capitalism and imperialism.
Exactly.
Do you feel safe here? Or have you found any difficulty adjusting your life here, or racism targeted toward you?
No. I mean, if you're asking in that sense, of course I feel safe here. I'm living here for 8 years now as any other Cypriot, and I never had any experience such thing like that. If you're asking me about real safety in a way that because of the actions that I do, if I'm feeling safe from Turkey is or the regime's thing, nobody is safe. I mean, like we see the patriots like Theophilos. What happened to Theophilos? I mean, nobody is safe. I'm not safe. You are not safe. We are in the same boat. Nobody is safe here. When you are trapped in an island with millions of Turkish illegal settlers, and half of it is occupied by one of the most brutal regimes in the world, how can we feel safe? I see, of course, unfortunately, I see in the free areas, our citizens are feeling some delusionally safety, but I try to warn them. If we don't liberate this island, there's no peace here. I mean, there's not gonna be life for our children. It's simple as that.
I completely agree with what you're saying, and we had this conversation with my partner Maro 2 nights ago. We walked through the streets of Nicosia on a Saturday, and we don't usually go out on Saturday. Everybody was out, and because I lived through the invasion, I was for the invasion, I have memories of the invasion. I realized and said to her that, you know, this bubble of safety we all feel can collapse with a single shot. I mean, it's amazing. You feel safe, but on the 1st of October, you were arrested with Yorgos Statis. And, you know, I have to tell you that, first of all, I feel ashamed by the actions of the people who arrested you. But also I'm feeling dumbfounded, like, what happened? We had George gave his version in Greek, so please give us your version of what happened on the 1st of October.
Yes, in the 1st of October, this was an action of the, last year, in the 49th, actually 2 years ago, in the 49th anniversary of the occupation, symbolically started as 49 signatory. We made a declaration called Declaration for Pan-Cyprian Mobilization for Freedom of Cyprus. And then right now hundreds of Cypriots signed that. Greek-speaking Cypriots, Turkish-speaking Cypriots. And in the 1st of October, basically that was an initiative of this effort, this declaration effort, who fights for a liberated Cyprus and who fights for a unitary democratic state. And basically we want to celebrate. We wanted to celebrate our republic. and we opened the banner in 3 languages, Greek, English and Turkish, which is saying Republic of Cyprus is the only solution and the apartheid is not solution. And of course, I mean, who can disagree with these things? I mean, especially in the Republic Independence Day. But some people does. And that people, unfortunately, clearly, I mean, since the news from yesterday we got from Geneva, also maybe we can talk about that,
yes, of course,
later as well. The people who rules this country has a problem with that. The Republic of Cyprus, defending the Republic of Cyprus is a problem for them. And we go there with the banner. We wanted to open the banner. Of course, I'm not going to go to so much detail, but these are also was in the media. And the police officers wanted to see the banner. It was rolled. It was closed. And after that, I took the banner with some other participants. We opened the banner. They took the photo of the banner. And later they say that, oh, okay, we are going to send this to somewhere. You can go to where you are. And we went to where we are. And later a police officer came. And, okay, I'm going to give a little bit detail here and say that, sir, I love the banner.
That's what he said.
Yes,
I love the banner.
I love the banner. I don't want to do this, but I got an order from the above. And I have to do this. So please take that banner and go. And of course, we rejected that because that's our freedom of expression. Not only that, we are celebrating our republic. We are celebrating, we are defending our country. I mean, like, it's not about freedom of expression. I mean, like, we all support freedom of expression, but we are defending our country as patriots. And of course, we refused that. And I have to say that here, I mean, like, there were many police officers who tried to, to reject this order that they got, because they knew that what is happening, what's going to happen are wrong. But of course, some of the other high-rank officers involved, and this, whatever happened is happened. That's why I wanted to underline some people, when they talk about this arrest, they underline the freedom of expression, and these kind of, the concepts and the subjects, which is correct. But our arrest wasn't about the freedom of expression or anything. It was about, it was a political act. And we know where the order came. And during the court process, we are gonna show that with our evidences. I don't want to, of course, get into so much in detail, but this is basically not only a freedom of speech fight. This is fighting for our country, fighting for our state. The people who believe in the sovereignty of this country, independence of Cyprus, who believes the Republic of Cyprus has to support. And the best thing is that, of course, people are supporting. Seeing that makes us happy.
I hope. My hope is that the general attorney would drop the case, as he has done for a lot of cases, for reasons of public. I don't know the term, the legal term, but I'm amazed that the case continues and you're going to court. But I have to tell you that I know people, not personally, that reject the Republic of Cyprus within the Greek Cypriot community, and they perceive that as a trick for not solving the Cyprus problem.
Yeah, we have those. I mean, like even I mentioned the people who rule this country. The political elite is also rejecting the independence of Cyprus. I can explain to you how I felt in that because where the parade happens is a long road, long
yes.
avenue. One side you see pentatactylos, the Turkish flag on pentatactylos. On the one side, we had the podium where the political elite sits, where the president and those ministers sits. And we were in the middle of that with Tatis and other compatriots, citizens of Cyprus defending the Republic of Cyprus. And that symbolized me. I thought about that when they slammed me on the ground. I thought about that. There is one, in our one side, there is that Turkish flag who occupying half of our island. And on the other side, the political elite occupying the seats of this state, who hates these states, who wish that this state doesn't exist, and doing everything to end this state's existence with different plans, bizonal, bicommunal federation, this and that. So this is the situation, basically.
I totally agree with you. That is also my feeling, and I'm deeply sorry for the thing you had to withstand, but also I'm feeling moved by your actions. You raised an issue that is, I think, is fundamental for any conversation towards solving the Cyprus problem, and it's the issue of identity. And I understand that you promote a civic identity for all of us. Would you like to say more about this issue?
Yeah, I mean, the identity we promote is, like you mentioned, it's a civic identity of what unites us. Because when a country is under occupation, we need to unite under some banner, right? And luckily, we have a state that like it's not a fully independent state because of the political elite that we have and the occupation, but we have a state, and we are citizens of this state as Greek Cypriots, Turkish Cypriots, Armenians, Maronites, Latins. And the civic identity that we have is the being Cypriot. So this is like a banner, this is like an umbrella terminology where we should unite against the occupation. I mean, because when there is a occupation in a country, in a geography, the most important thing is for the people of that geography to unite under something. And luckily we have these state, this citizenship, and being Cypriot unites us. That is the identity that you were mentioning.
In previous talks together, the thing I respect and embrace in the way you promote is that I feel in my heart that you really see this as an umbrella, embracing all the cultures and ethnicities in this island. But also I feel that there are different kinds of people from both communities that perceive this civic identity as an enemy because of the conflicts and also because of the history of the people. You feel it's possible to have a Cypriot civic identity?
I think so, because we are talking here about the magic word you mentioned, a civic identity. This is not we are not talking about ethnic identity. I mean, everybody's ethnic identity is their individual matter. Civic identity is where you unite as a citizens of a state. So anybody who carries a Cyprus passport is a civic part of this identity. I understand what you mean. Unfortunately, the identity subject, our people are very confused with the identity issue. And when we talk about identities, the thing that many of the people or some of the people goes directly their mind to the ethnic identity. Ethnic identity is there. I mean, it's an important part of our life, culture. It's part of the culture and etc. It should be flourished. But again, I said we have another identity as well, our citizenship. And why it is important for us. That's, you know, like, we don't need to fetishize the identities or create the new identities, but for us to, why is important for us to unite under an umbrella? Again, as I mentioned, because we are under occupation, and the people who wants to liberate this island, that goes through defending this state that we have, and under the state, under the rule of law, under the citizenship, we are equal. We are part of that. That is the family. That is the family that you know, like, civic concept of nation is basically, this is symbolizes this.
I understand your rationale. Do you feel that a lot of Turkish Cypriots embrace this civic identity the way you perceive it?
Most of the Turkish Cypriots, most of them, because in these identity issues, dynamics within the Turkish Cypriots and within the Greek Cypriots are different.
Yes, I will talk about the Greek
yes,
Cypriots.
Yes, for the Turkish Cypriots, we have a Turkey who occupied half of the island, and every day a country economically, socially, and culturally oppresses this group of people, Turkish Cypriots. And when Turkey oppresses these people, always says something. You are nothing. You are no one. So this is like Frantz Fanon. You know, Frantz Fanon talks about that.
Yes.
Colonizer, the tactic of colonizer makes the people that it colonizes feels like subhuman. So this is what Turkey does to the Turkish Cypriot community, Turkish Cypriots. And Turkish Cypriots, for that reason, they hug the Cypriot identity.
Yes.
Both state-wise, Cypriot state, I mean the Republic of Cyprus, and their civic identity. It is like a, you know, the life vest for them, and existential issues. So for them, the Cypriots means that resistance against Turkey. So that's why most of the Turkish Cypriots, vast majority of the Turkish Cypriots, if you ask them, what are you first? They will tell you, first I am Cypriot, then I am something else.
I hope that this conversation builds a kind of bridge between our gaps. I totally understand what you are saying. My personal history is from the area of Solia, Petra, next to Lefke. And I know that I don't remember who told me that when the team from Lefka plays in the football league and meets like settlers teams, they call them, I don't know the term in Turkish, but they call them Rumlar bastards.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, living as a Greek Cypriot, I understand that because in the Greek Cypriot community, the Cypriot identity was an effort to impose something different than what they felt. A majority of the Greek Cypriot people rejects the notion of being ethnically Cypriot. But I totally embrace the way you perceive and promote it as an umbrella between hopefully peaceful and loving ethnicities and against the occupation, the way Swiss people embrace their Swiss identity.
Or Belgians, or anybody that you can imagine. I think I would like to mention over there is one linguistic problem over here too. I always tell this to my Greek Cypriot friends. The concept of nation, I mean, which came after the French Revolution, is a civic identity. It's not an ethnic identity. In the English language, it is like that. In the French language, it is like that. In Turkish, it's like that too. There is difference between the ethnicity and nationality. In Greek language, I know that there is only one word for that, which is ethnos, which is more connected with ethnicity. So there is a lack of a terminology, modern political terminology over there, which is nation in Greek language. So that creates the confusion about this identity issue as well. Ethnicity and nationality are two totally separate, different things.
The master I never finished. I'm writing an article actually right now about this. Unfortunately, it's in Greek, but I started the master's in nationalism and cultural difference. And there is a distinction that unfortunately we have to address in the Greek language. And it's the concept of the political nation arising from the French Revolution, and the cultural nation, which is a nation like a Greek nation, which is an old nation with its culture. And I agree with you that we don't have the linguistic tools to address it in a way that unites, and hopefully we'll build those. So we have. I'm laughing because in a way our world is so tragic. Oz, there is a word in Greek, tragelaphos. It's like something between a goat and a deer, and it's something that's so crazy you cannot even conceive it. So yesterday we have the Geneva meeting, and today we have the arrest of Ekrem Imamoglu. How do you analyze what happened in Geneva?
I mean, like any other meetings that is happening in Geneva or in Cyprus, unfortunately, for decades, every meeting, Cypriots and the Republic of Cyprus gives away part of its sovereignty to the occupiers. And yesterday, it also happened the same. I mean, we gave part of our sovereignty to occupiers. I mean, they went to Geneva, they talk about opening the barricades, and some citizens are celebrating that. But for barricades, I want to tell few things. In beginning of 2000s, when the barricades were closed, let's remember who opened the barricades.
Rauf Denktaş.
Denktaş opened the barricades, and the reason was that in the beginning of 2000s, Turkish Cypriot people had enough. They were here and they were in the streets every day, and they were gonna break those barricades with their hands. That was at that point. And Denktaş opened the barricades as a strategy and take down all the tension of that rage against the occupation. So right now, we are opening more and more barricades, normalizing the status quo, normalizing the occupation. And our government and the mainstream media celebrates this as a victory. I mean, unbelievable. These are unbelievable. Other things, I mean, what they say, solar panels in the buffer zone. What are we doing right now? Giving some jobs, some obligation to buffer zone. Those buffer zone will stay over there forever. So we put a solar panel over there. I mean, and people are celebrating this as well. And when those solar panels connected, how the energy will go? I mean, like these are debates people don't talk. Is it gonna connect directly to the occupation regime or the and etc.? We are losing our sovereignty in every way possible. The young, creating a committee for young people. There's an important thing that the Greek Cypriots has to know. Turkish Cypriot young people is already left. Because of the settlers, because of the settler colonization, they left. And right now, the European Union fundings that goes to the occupied area for the youth, that money goes to the settlers, not Turkish Cypriot youth. So this committee that they are trying to create, the youth committee for the youth, who's it for? Who's it for? I mean, the Republic of Cyprus citizen Turkish Cypriots, which are the real Cypriots, or the settlers. I'm sure that they're gonna be for the settlers. I mean, these issues, of course, the ones who rules this country knows these things very well. But unfortunately, our society doesn't know these things, and we have to talk about these things. We are, with this effort in Geneva, it's normalization of the status quo, legalization of the occupation. This is what is happening.
Thanks for sharing all this with us. I just want to tell you that if you were a Greek Cypriot and you talked like this, you would be labeled nationalist, fascist, and chauvinist. And right. This is the main issue that angers me, that people who really want to live together, who address the issue of occupation and settlements as an occupation, a brutal occupation that targets not only Greek Cypriots but also Turkish Cypriots, all these people are labeled as enemies of the solution by a fraction of Greek Cypriot media and also Greek Cypriot politicians. And I'm very much angered by this. So thank you very much for sharing this from a perspective of a Turkish Cypriot patriot. It's very important, and I hope a lot of Greek Cypriots watch this podcast and understand the reality in our island.
It is critical. I mean, it is very critical to stand against the colonization, the settler colonization, because again, as I said, I mean, this situation is not gonna continue like this. Clear thing is that Turkey doesn't want any kind of solution and never wanted. Turkey wants to continue the status quo until finding a correct time to occupy whole island. This is the Turkey's plan. So if we don't talk about this, if we don't talk about these realities, basically we are waiting our end day to come. And that's also what drives me crazy. I mean, these meetings happens in Geneva or Nicosia or Berlin, and every time we lose everything, but this political elite comes with a smile on their face to the Larnaca airport. That drives me crazy. And unfortunately, the mainstream media also writes about the victories while we are losing everything. That is the situation.
What is your dream of a solution?
My dream is to be live in a normal state like anyone else. I mean, simple as that. I want to live in a normal state where there is no occupation, there is no foreign presence, there is no settlers. To have a normal state without ethnic quotas, like in 1960 Constitution or like the BBF, without both of them has those ethnic quotas and the racist apartheid style elements. Of course, without those things, I just want to live in a normal, unitary, democratic state. And this can only happen if, as a society and as a state, if we finally create a national liberation strategy for this. Because Turkey has a national strategy towards Cyprus. We don't have anything. I mean, we just follow. Turkey does the move, and we try to, save the day. That's how 50 years left. As a society, Cypriots, we have to unite under the banner of this national liberation strategy. Of course, state has to take a role in that, defining that strategy. But as you can see, that's a dream that cannot happen. That's why, as citizens, we have to take the matter on our hands, and we need to create that strategy. And the declaration that I mentioned, for example, yes. In the 1st of October, we opened the banner. That declaration also talks about this strategy. Little bit how important it is to create a strategy, and also draws the framework of that national liberation strategy. We have to do this as Cypriots, as citizens of the Republic of Cyprus.
Unfortunately, I have a little disagreement with you about your analysis. I don't think that we just, Turkey makes a move and we try to save the day. I feel that the political elite you mentioned does moves to appease Turkey or appease other factors like imperialist or capitalist factors before even Turkey does a move at some point. And this is what drives me crazy, that I feel that we have a political elite that tries to appease what our elite thinks that will appease or benefit the great powers that be, and they will help to solve the Cyprus problem. So how do you see today's arrest of İmamoğlu? First of all, we don't know a lot about Turkish politics. We just understand what our media. Is İmamoğlu a saint, a person who will bring democracy to Turkey?
No. I mean, before that, I would like to mention one thing about this. This is very dangerous, that I always say, for the generally the Cypriot society, because even Turkish Cypriots do not have much knowledge about Turkey, like Greek Cypriots.
Okay.
The internal dynamics of Turkey. And I always say that we are as the Republic of Cyprus, for example, the most important part of the strategy of that national liberation strategy. We need to have a Turkology departments in our university working very well to understanding what is Turkey. I always say this. I mean, like when I talk about Turkey to people, I say like, I want to talk to you about what is Turkey, not like getting into, because Turkey is a state that has a big establishment, and that establishment continues from beginning of its history. And the state is different than the government in Turkey. And let's turn back to the İmamoğlu subject. İmamoğlu is not a saint, of course. I mean, I'm seeing sometimes in the Greek media and the Greek Cypriot media painting İmamoğlu like an angel, talking about he's from Trebezunda, he has a Greek roots, he can be good, and this and that. There is no such thing. I mean, he, especially in Cyprus context, he talked many times about Cyprus, and he has the same ideas as any other party in Turkey. We have to understand one thing. When I say about national liberation strategy, and when I say that Turkey has a national strategy, in Turkey, every political party from left to right has the same ideology about Cyprus. Even the Communist Party of Turkey has the same ideology with the İmamoğlu and Erdogan. And that ideology is the same. We went over there, we take it, and that's ours. Okay. Talking about Cyprus. So for İmamoğlu, that is the same too. Today, he got arrested. That happens in the dictatorships. I mean, like, there's nothing to comment about that.
Okay.
I mean, like, no need to go into deep. It happened in Turkey many times. And
Selahattin Demirtas is in jail.
Exactly. It happens in every dictatorship, and that's the choice of the Turkish people. That's they choose it. They have elections, and they are choosing for this. So,
okay. Did İmamoğlu study in Cyprus?
He did, and his arrest is related to that. I don't know. Basically, İmamoğlu studied in the fake universities, pseudo universities in the occupied area, one in Famagusta and one in Kerinya, and then he transferred to the Istanbul University. So, and Erdogan right now and his team find this out, and they say that your transfer from the occupied areas of Cyprus to the Istanbul University is fake, because those universities in the occupied area are not recognized by Turkey at that time.
Okay, and now they are recognized.
Now they are.
Okay.
So your diploma is fake, and that's why that is the reason that they arrested him.
Oh my God,
forgery in English, I guess it's
forgery.
Forgery. They arrested him. The main reason is that in Turkey, for you to be a president, you need a university degree. So İmamoğlu was gonna be candidate for the president, but right now with this aim, basically Erdogan trying to prevent him to be a candidate for the president because he doesn't have a, that's what Erdogan says, university degree. So this is the reason of the arrest. It's again connected with the Cyprus.
It's amazing, huh? It's like
everything.
We joke, Cypriots always, we joke that we are the center of the world, but really in some points it's like a self-fulfilled prophecy. Yeah. So he may lose his political career because of Cyprus.
Because of Cyprus.
It's the revenge of our island. How do you perceive Turkey's role in all the geopolitical things that are happening around us? Or how is, maybe the question will be better, is really Turkey trying to be a neo-Ottoman empire?
I don't know. I mean, like if it wants to be neo-Ottoman, because Turkey has different hats. Erdogan wears different hats. One hat is neo-Ottoman hat. One hat is a pan-Turkist hat. One hat is European hat. So Turkey is a country, especially Erdogan is a person who likes to wear different hats different time. You could see him talking about the Muslim world, and next day you can see him talking about the Turkic world, which is very different than the Muslim world.
Yes.
He can next day talk about the Europeans. But what they do well, and this is important, since few years we entered to the multipolar world. I mean, this is obvious. I mean, after we had a multipolar world order when there was a non-aligned movement, when Cyprus was founder of the non-aligned movement, Makarios. When the non-aligned movement lose its power, we go to the bipolar world, which was the USSR and the USA. Then the USSR's ended, and we entered the unipolar world. I mean, since 90s to 2010s, we had the US hegemony. And right now, again, we entered the multipolar world, where the country's sovereignty is the most important thing. The alliances like the European Union or the United Nations loses its power. The individual sovereignty of the states gets more important, and the relationships between states to states and the actions becomes more important. Turkey plays this very well. That's what I was trying to come. Turkey, with these different hats, plays its role in the multipolar world order very professionally. And I'm gonna come to Cyprus right now.
Okay.
We are the worst. We are the worst. I mean, like, I'm watching right now some political experts talking about we have to be in the winner's side. We have to be in the US's side.
Yes.
These new trends are happening. I'm not gonna talk about ideologically, but I'm just gonna talk about about the reality about this multipolar world. The last thing that you can do in a multipolar world order to find a protectorate country, because that protectorate will not even want you next to himself. I mean, that is the rule of the game in the multipolar world. You need to build your sovereignty, you need to build your own relationships, and this is the world that we are living in. And again, for your question, I mean, Turkey plays that very well, and we have to play this very well as well. Whoever's gonna play this, they're gonna win. I mean, India plays this very well as well, and they are winning. Whoever plays that strategic relationships and etc. Will win. I mean, the heydays of the United Nations and that kind of supranational and international organizations like European Union, those are over for a while at least in this multipolar world.
Turkey has a diplomatic tradition of 1,000 years because it continued. I was amazed when I found friends were telling me this, and then I found a diplomat, a friend who is working in the diplomatic, and I thought it was a joke at the beginning that in Sweden, Turkey sends a Turkish ambassador who is blonde with blue eyes, and in Somalia, Turkey sends an ambassador resembling the people of that country, and that's the reason I find that Turkey really knows how to play the game. I mean, they support the terrorists in Syria and asking the European Union to lift sanctions against people who are massacring people, and at the same time they pose as a protector of European safety and values.
The tradition, that word is very important. Usually the empires, the multi-continental empires has that tradition. Who has that? Britain has that diplomatic tradition that continues for centuries. France has that, and Turkey has that. These are the countries who has a long tradition about diplomacy. For example, Germany is a big country as well, but they are not good at diplomacy because they didn't have that kind of huge multi-continental empire like the French or the Ottomans or the British. The tradition in all these countries continues, like you said, right now to their foreign ministry level. Unfortunately, the Greece is a very young country, doesn't have that tradition. Cyprus doesn't have that tradition as well. These are the realities that we have to face, but and weaknesses we have, but we can still create a national liberation strategy to make these weaknesses, close these weaknesses, and with other strengths, like the geopolitical position of Cyprus, or if we ever build, understand the multipolar world and create relationships according to that. But yes, Turkey is like you said.
I would like to add also the big countries in the East like China or Russia who have that tradition. My dream connected with the things you are saying, that Cyprus could be a neutral zone in a volatile environment, geopolitical environment, being like a link between everybody. It's I think that we lack the vision. Our elite lacks this vision. They don't have a vision for the island. We could be a good mediator between everybody, but I agree with you that I see that in these times, instead of waiting and see what happens, we took positions that were never heard before in this alliance, and either we want it or not. Not us, but my position is that our elite is complicit to genocide with the political alignment that chose.
Our elite, yes. Our elite, yes. I always say there are some organizations on the street trying to say the Cypriot complicity or the Cypriot state's complicity. I don't agree with that. I mean, I'm not complicit. Our people are not. And we know that Cypriot people has a huge sympathy for Palestinians, historically, traditionally, especially Greek Cypriots, more than Turkish Cypriots. But the elite, political elite, is part of this genocide, like you said, the way that they choose. But other than being part of the genocide, that damages our national liberation struggle as well, because as a country like Cyprus, what do we have on our hand to fight against the occupiers? One of the things is the international law. Geneva Convention, Rome Statute, ICC, International Criminal Court, ICG, and these kind of tools. And if our government goes and be with the Zionist regime a genocidal Zionist regime, occupier, and who does the settler colonization, exactly the things that Turkey is doing in Cyprus, tomorrow when we go to these, you try to use the international law, wouldn't the international community will ask us, your government were supporting the genociders, and right now you are asking our attention for Cyprus? They will ask, of course. So their choices of damaging our national liberation strategy, our independence strategy against Turkish colonization as well, Turkish occupation as well. So the consequences are huge.
I agree. What would you... first of all, I would like to ask you a personal political question. Have you ever been approached by the Cyprus government's official ministries or any kind of think tank to help with a national strategy?
No.
Never?
No. I mean...
Apart from arresting you, they didn't...
they are busy with arresting. They didn't. I mean, because they have their own strategy for destruction for this state, and they are very well aware of what they are doing. So the people who fights for independence and anti-Turkish colonization, we are a threat for them. So they wouldn't approach, they wouldn't want to be in the same place with the people like you, people like me.
You know, the colonized mind that the British Empire managed to imprint on us has this continuous sense of guilt. It's like we are guilty. And it's crazy that for this guilt is everywhere in our life, from our personal lives to our political lives, that we are guilty, we are not worthy. We are not worthy of freedom. I hear a lot of Greek Cypriots saying with the British we were better. And it's crazy, but going to you, what measures would you promote that can bring our communities together again in a national struggle against occupation, and how could trust be built? Because there has to be some trust built. This is one side. On the other side, Oz, I see Turkish Cypriots in the free areas every day. I see them in the supermarkets. I see them in the walk, the Pediaos walk. And I don't feel that there is any threat for them or whatever the political powers say. But how can we build your dream?
Let me tell you something. Like you said, there is no Turkish Cypriot today could tell you either right wing or left wing or any idea, having any other ideology, could come and tell you that I feel more secure in the occupied area as a Turkish Cypriot. All of them feels more secure in the free areas. When they come to the free areas, when they pass the barricades, they smile, they start smiling. I mean, because I'm in touch with every part of the society in the Turkish Cypriot community, because it's a very small community, and you know people who has different ideas. All of them says the same thing. So the idea that trust, I believe that the Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots trust each other enough.
Okay,
that's for sure. I mean, there is no doubt about that. Any little doubt about that. The actions you ask me, what would you do? If I had tools, I mean, of course, the tool that I'm talking about, being part of the political and the government. If we had this state on our hand, state could do many things to, like make Turkish Cypriots close to them, give them trust, because Turkish Cypriots are seeing the real face of Turkey and they see that how Turkey is a dangerous. And on the other side, they want to see a state, Republic of Cyprus I'm talking, who has a plan, who has a strategy, and who take cares of Turkish Cypriots, not in material way. I'm gonna give specific examples to you. Akan Kürşat, we talk about the usurpation of the properties, right? Akan Kürşat, Turkish Cypriot lawyer who involved in the usurpation of the Greek Cypriot properties, arrested last year. I guess it was in the January. You cannot imagine how in the social media and the social life Turkish Cypriots were happy about it. That a Turkish Cypriot lawyer who got arrested because of a usurpation of the Greek Cypriot properties. And they were reacting like, finally, Republic of Cyprus is doing something about this. You're gonna ask me, why? Why they would think that? Very simple, because some of them ideologically against the usurpation of the Greek Cypriot properties and illegal settlements, but all of them, without exception, it's affecting their life negatively. They cannot freely speak their thoughts outside of the street, outside of their door, apartment door. So, and there are many other things as well, because of course the population increases, that creates a huge problem for them in many aspects. But what happened? Few weeks later, this guy was free. And that time I see how the disappointments of the Turkish Cypriots. So you ask me, what can the Republic of Cyprus do? The government can do to change this. Defend this country. If they defend this state and defend this country, and Turkish Cypriots sees that, they will come closer to the Republic of Cyprus.
Thank you very much, Oz. It's amazing. But the clarity with which you present this thing is amazing. We
saw this with our eyes. I mean, right now, few people arrested, the usurpers, 2 Israeli, 2 Hungarian, and 1 German, if I remember. These didn't get arrested because of the government. Let me clarify that, because many people think that these people arrested because of a strategy of the government. No, these people arrested because of the Cypriots, Greek Cypriots, who started the procedure against these people.
Yes.
I mean, people has to clarify that. And I can tell you that I don't think the government is happy about these arrests.
I agree with you.
They wish that these arrests never happened. And right now the arrests suddenly stopped anyway. So when these arrests happened, again, Turkish Cypriots were extremely happy. You cannot imagine. In the social media, on the television, they were saying that all of them should be arrested. The Turkish Cypriots who involved in this usurpation also should get arrested. This gave them trust. They need to trust the strength of their state. Everybody needs that. That's why the human created the organization called state, right? We were tribes. Humanity was tribes. And then what did our ancestors thought? For our security, for some kind of a justice system, for distribution of some kind of wealth, let's create an organization together. State is an organization basically of this, to make you feel secure. But our state makes the opposite.
Yeah, true.
That is the thing.
I add to your state the Aristotelian notion of that it is in the United States Constitution the pursuit of happiness, that the society is a society not only to live but to live happily. And I have to share something with you. Hopefully it will reach our French event. I am afraid to cross to the occupied areas. When the barricades opened, I traveled all over the place to unify my island within me. I was very young. I respect everybody that goes and everybody that doesn't go. Like my father cannot go. He feels that his heart will break to go. So I had meetings mostly political meetings, but in the last years, I'm really afraid to go. And I have contacts with Turkish Cypriots, friends whose names I will not share. And they said to me that they now meet like thieves. They have places that they know, like this bar is only attended by Turkish Cypriots. Is it true?
But that was always like this. Right now, it is more. I mean, let me tell you something. My mother is Cypriot, my father is not. My mother's from Kalahoryo, Larnaca. They had to go to Famagusta, Palyapoli in the old town area. There was a line, because Varosha area, mostly illegal settlers from Turkey settled. The Turkey transferred them to the Varosha area. So there was a line over there. And
a real line,
like one street.
Yes.
And the Cypriot parents were saying to their kids, "You cannot pass from that line." I mean, where the settlers lives. So when we were young, it was the same situation. We were going to the certain places. They were going to the certain places. Right now, it is more critical, like your friend says, because back in the days, maybe it was 50-50. Like half of the city, for example, was where the Turkish Cypriots was going to entertain themselves or to venues, half of them. But right now, there's only few left for Turkish Cypriots. That's the critical part. That's why they are stressed. So that's true what your friend says. But it was always like this. Just right now, there is so much less area that Turkish Cypriots can breathe. Take a breath. That's the situation.
I hope that the things you shared with us reach the ministerial places. Sorry. And they act on it. Thankfully, in the last 2 or 3 years, the Cyprus government started doing things in the free areas, protecting the Turkish Cypriot properties, because also Turkish Cypriot properties in the south were misused or given to shady interests. Is there something with which we would like to close the podcast, Oz?
Well, the most important thing is that, I mean, like I can say, we don't have much time. As patriots, Cypriots who want to continue living in this island, and who wants their children to exist in this island, where our ancestors lived for centuries or millennials. We need to act. We need to bravely say that the liberation of Cyprus is the only solution. Cyprus is not divided. Cyprus is occupied. So I hope our people do not support politicians who talks about reunification. Because if a country is occupied, you cannot reunify it. You can only liberate it. So my last thoughts, my last words are these. Let's unite for liberation of our island from the Turkish occupation, or it's gonna be late, and we don't have much time.
I have nothing to add, Oz. Thank you very much for being with us and sharing all this wisdom. Thank you very much, really, from the bottom of my heart. Friends, thank you very much for listening to us. I hope that the podcast reaches a lot of hearts and minds. And I will finish in Greek with the thing our friend Oz said. Liberation is the only solution. Η απελευθέρωση είναι η μόνη λύση. Good night.
Αναγνωρισμένο τετραετές πρόγραμμα Διεθνείς σχέσεις, παγκόσμια οικονομία και στρατηγική ανάλυση. Διδάσκουν οι δόκτορες Χαραλαμπίδης Γιάννος, Δενιόζος Νίκος, Φίλης Γεώργιος και άλλοι καταξιωμένοι πανεπιστημιακοί, ειδικοί συνεργάτες, αξιωματικοί, οικονομολόγοι και διεθνολόγοι. Κολέγιο Λίδρα για σπουδές στις διεθνείς σχέσεις, παγκόσμια οικονομία και στρατηγική ανάλυση. Οι εγγραφές άρχισαν.